Hello, I'm Scott Donkin. I'm from Mutoh, Australia. We represent the Mutoh factory in Japan, and we're based in Artarmon in Sydney. We have a range of dealers who sell our products. Mutoh is a large player in the wide format and small format digital inkjet printing and cutting. We have a large market share around the world, particularly in China and Asia, where we're #1, and also in America, a very popular product, as well as here in Australia. Today I'm going to talk to you about the ValueJet 1638. It's a wide format eco-solvent printer. Is a print on a gloss self-adhesive vinyl with somebody walking past us. And the configuration for the inks is on this machine we're showing today is a 440mm cartridge. The machine actually takes either 220mm or 440mm. What is unique about it as well is if you only want to run 220mm cartridges, you can do that by laying the cartridge holder down and they can just protrude from the back. If you do want to have the accessibility to the back of the machine and you want to load the 440s, then you can see they can be just simply rotated into a vertical position. The machine will actually take either a double CMYK, so at this end we have 2K black, 2 cyan, at the other end magenta and yellow, so it'll take double CMYK for speed, or it will take CMYK plus light cyan, light magenta and light black. Now the beauty and what sets this machine apart of this machine is if you do want the extra quality using the light coloured inks, you can actually load it up with light cyan, light magenta, light black, and having the black and the light black will combine to give you, with proper colour management, will combine to give you very, very good smooth grey tones, which is very, very important, as opposed to solely relying on CMY to get your neutral tones. The machine takes a standard, up to a standard 1625mm 64-inch roll, capable of printing onto the most common medias, including what we see here is a gloss self-adhesive vinyl, matte vinyl backlits, canvases. It's spectacular on canvas, and gloss and semi-gloss photographic papers. Targeted at the sign and graphics, sign and display markets, point of sale, etc. It has, as we can see here, a large post or dryer heater and a take-up system here which will continually take up the media. At Mutoh we don't tell people that the top speed of this machine is this or that. We don't sell it like that. Yes, it's capable of a very high speed, but realistically, like the competitor products, this machine, now saying the speeds higher than 90 squares an hour is what it realistically is capable of. We don't use that as a selling tool because in real terms, if the machine's printing that fast, none of this or the competitor products like this are going to have it dry in time, but moreover, the quality at really, really high speeds is really only designed for something like billboards and so forth that you're passing at a great rate of knots. So what we do quote this machine as at a real-life production speed, which is 36 square meters per hour at 720, down to about the high 20 square meters per hour at 720. That's where people like to sit, and as we can see here, the quality is nice and smooth. The inkset, as I said before, is CMYK. But as you can see here, the tones are very, very smooth, so you don't actually have to run this machine as a light cyan, light magenta, light black product if you don't want to. But if you're doing point of sale and close view stuff, you have got the option, unlike some of the competitor products, where you can run light cyan, light magenta, light black for extra smoothness in skin tones and pastel colours. Here at the Visual Impact Show in Sydney, we also have the Mutoh ValueJet 628X. It's a fairly new printer for us. It's designed for people who want a smaller format, more affordable printer that can still pump out good graphics for sign display, photography and so forth. As you can see, it's an inkjet printer. This particular one, what sets it aside is that it does take a full standard 610 24-inch roll media. In fact, the factory have set it up so it'll take actually up to 630mm and print up to 620mm, but standard rolls tend to be around 610mm, so it'll take that quite happily. What the features of this particular machine that are quite interesting is that a lot of the small format eco-solvent printers tend to have no heaters, and a lot of people think that's only for drying or something like that. It's actually also to help with the lay of the ink. When you're painting in two directions, you want each pass to actually feather in nicely without overly spreading into one another and causing what people commonly call banding. With the addition of heaters, it allows you to get a very, very smooth result. As you can see, there's no apparent bands in the print. In actual fact, Mutoh also invented a waveform of printing, so instead of straight passes, if you to watch it print, you'll see the passes are actually built up in what looks like a sinusoidal or a sine wave format, and the passes are very, very smooth. And as we can see here, there's absolutely no what people commonly call banding in the print. So that's a very good sell point for the machine. What we see here on the stand is on the display here is the machine's also available with a stand. You can put it up onto a tabletop, but if you want, you can have an optional stand for a little bit extra. Something that is reasonably unique also is that if you've got the stand, you can also get the optional take-up unit, and a lot of the competition just allow you to run it out, which is okay because they're a small production unit, but you still want to at times walk away from the printer and know that you're not having your media falling on the floor and you know, gathering dirt and so on. Having it on a take-up means you can then take it over to a cutter, which we'll look at shortly. So those two are optional, but you know, they're a good addition. So this is the ValueJet 628X. If we walk around to the back now, personalized gift. And we're at a trade show, so we've done a few extra things to keep cables out of the way. But what I want to talk about is the ink configuration. Up here on the ink cartridge panel, you see actually three setups of inks. So you can actually have just a standard double CMYK like we saw on the bigger printer, and if that's all you need, great. You can also have a configuration with CMYK plus light cyan, light magenta, and the spare slots actually say CL, meaning cleaning solution. So a low-cost cleaning solution just keeps the lines moist and so forth, and the heads moist. So you can have CMYK, light cyan, light magenta. That's for the people who do want the smooth tones in their print. Or the third option is quite a nice one. It's CMYK, light cyan, light magenta, plus white, plus metallic. Now, there are other printers on the market from other vendors that are very, very good machines. The beauty of this one is that you can have white and metallic and the light cyan and the light magenta all at the same time. Some of the competitors offer you standard CMYK with the option of either white or metallic or something else, but not everything at the same time. So that makes this machine very, very nice, and in particular the white is very good for backing up on clear stock that you might want to do decals in windows or something like that. Or in particular the metallic ink you can use as a spot color or something like that. To enhance your prints. You can actually mix it with the CMYK and have very nice pearlescent type colours in your final design. So very, very good for point of sale. Very, very good for prototyping, in fact, for people doing products and so forth. This is the feed system back here. At the moment we've got a shorter roll, but as I said, it will take up to 630, and the standard roll size being around the 610 mark. And now on our stand at Visual Impact, we have the Mutoh cutters, the ValueJet cutters. We have one sitting over here in the basket. Just just in there. And this machine marries up nicely with our range of solvent wide format printers. We sell these typically in one of three sizes. We have a 600 mil size, so that will marry up with the printer we just saw, the smaller format printer. So it'll take a 610 wide roll. We then have this particular machine which will take a 1370 wide roll. And then we have the larger series that will actually take up to 1800 mils that will suit perfectly the 1625 mil roll media. The beauty of the Mutohs is that I think the comments that I've had, people just happening to be walking past and they've said, oh, I've got a Mutoh, and I say, oh, which one is it? And they tell me it's an older model. I say, how long have you had that? Oh, X number of years. And that's the key thing here. You buy one of these, you're going to buy it for a long, long time, and it will, you know, outlast a lot of the equipment you have in your print shop. There's not a lot to them except that they are reliable and very, very quick as you need them. The consumable items are realistically just the cutting strip that goes under the cutting blade as it tracks back and forth, and of course the cutting blade itself. What we've got loaded here is a 45 mil blade. And we've loaded up some media that has stickers on it. The short and sweet of it is simply that if you're going to print a lot of stickers, you would design it up in the rip and print it on one of the printers we've seen here today. You'd put a cut line on it, and the same rip program that you use to print, you would then put through this cutter, and the same rip program would then tell the cutter to cut. Now, you would load your media into the machine like this. The rip program, if you tell it it's going to cut, will actually place the crop marks here for you. You simply line it up, and it doesn't have to be too good. You line up the leading edge with a straight edge, which in this case might be the ruler, and close the clamp. We would then jog the carriage along with an eye here over the first cut mark. So what we see in this design here is here, and then it will actually go, you tell it to go and find the rest of the job, which will be the other cut marks on the job. Now, the other beauty of this particular setup is that when you send your job to it, if you've got a whole roll of these things, 30 metres, 50 metres of stickers, by the time you get to the very end, your alignment may be a problem with your print and cut. The beauty of this particular setup is that the crop marks are printed at regular intervals here, and the machine will do it in panels, and it will actually cut that panel, realign itself, and then it will actually cut the next panel and so on, and it will continue on down the roll, and you're guaranteed of nice, if we peel this one off here with my TV hands, nice alignment on your stickers, and that will continue on right down the job. These particular machines, they just work. There's not much more to say to it because, as I said, the consumable items realistically are a cutting strip which you change yourself as you need, and they last a hell of a long time, and the blade, which just sits in a nice little blade holder, and I take it out here and it's just magnetized in. So if I take that out, the blade just sits there. It's a 45-degree blade. They're not very expensive, and you can get different blades for different products, and it just pops in there magnetically, and this whole holder goes into there. There's not much really more to say about it. If we walk around the back of the machine, we can see the roller setup while I'm putting this blade back on, and the media. So you can print an entire roll onto a core. You can then take it off your printer, put it onto the flanges here. The flanges are adjustable to as small as you want, and you load it up. The rollers here for the cutter are adjustable by just pinching these and moving them along to go over to your media. You don't have to use them. You can lock them up. So if you've got a particular sensitive cast vinyl or something like that, you can take the rollers off the center of it so it won't affect your design, and away you go. So the machine just runs out of the same computer that you're running your printer from, and it takes the same file and converts that into a cut file. So this is the ValueJet 426 UF. It's a desktop UV printer. There's a few of these on the market. Mutoh, at Mutoh we're all about quality and repeatability. This particular machine is set aside by the fact that you get a good set of choice of inks, and as well you can print on promotional products like these pens. And if we have a look here, not yet, we've cut out a template and it has a vacuum bed. The template lays on the bed, we just put the product in there. We've got artwork that knows where the designer knows where the final logo will go. We've just got 5 pens in here at the moment, and we'll fire that up now while I'm talking. So here we're going to do some pens, but realistically you can do a whole lot of things. So there's a golf ball. It'll print up to 70 millimeters thick on this particular model. The maximum sheet size is 483 mils by 200, and I'm going to use my cheat sheet here, 329. And for any of these objects like we see here and here, you can actually print edge to edge on any of your designs. So we've just cut out a template that we've got similar to the pen one here to hold phone cases, and it'll just print them all day long. The beauty of UV is quite simple in that it's instant. It is you're not going to get any VOCs from it, so some of the volatile organic compounds off it that will be objectionable to people in the room. And once it's printed, the pen using LED technology to cure the ink instantly means that it is cured on the spot, and it's cold. Being LEDs, it's touch cold, so a child could pull this out, in fact, without having any issues with the touch of it. So you just empty this tray into a box and you're ready to go again. The good selling point about this particular machine is that it does take CMYK inks. It also takes varnish and white, so you can lay down a white. You can lay down a white onto a clear acrylic, then put another layer of colour, and here we can see, if we can catch that in the light, there's a texture of a spot colour varnish to enhance it. Great for point of sale. You can have two configurations of ink with this machine. It's CMYK for just regular printing, but if you do want this type of result for point of sale and prototyping and so on, then the varnish and the white are just spectacular. The beauty of the varnish also is that if you are printing on things like tiles and things like that for bathrooms and kitchens, you can add a layer of varnish, and that's going to give you some wear and tear ability for cleaning and so forth in high traffic areas. Finishing up, it's a multitude of objects we can print on here. We've seen the phone cases and so forth. Here we've got some foam core board and, as I said before, golf balls and pens and pretty well anything you can think of. The primary point here before we finish is that there's really no preparation. With the pens, we've created a template for it, but realistically you're probably going to want to print thousands of these things, and you're not wanting to line them up with a chalk mark on the board. You want to put it into a cheap and simple, in this case, just a cut template you've got. And the beauty of the machine is that you don't have to prepare the object by putting a pre-coating on it whatsoever. This is just printed absolutely direct to the subject. No preparation required. The only thing I would say, and this is true of every UV machine in the building, that if you've got someone that's clumsy and they're going to manhandle the product constantly, they're going to leave greasy finger marks on it. That's not going to be conducive of good adhesion anyway, so just handle your product with care and you don't have to clean it. Cleaning otherwise would be with a spot of alcohol.